Okay, Nick Purler here with PurlerWrestling.com. There's some buzz and interest in our state medalist only camps. We're just starting this. We try to do state medalist only academy, but that's going to be so difficult. So we have found, so we've pivoted. We're doing state medalist only weekend training camps in Centralia, Missouri, which is, we have a Dollar General store that we bought during COVID, and we have a monster wrestling room there. So maybe we'll add these in Moscow Mills near St. Louis. We will decide. But state medalists only, the thing is a lot of us are state good. Obviously, if you're winning a state title in high school, middle school, or youth level at your high school or within your state, you're a very good wrestler. But to try to become national good, sometimes becoming great at wrestling can be sort of a disadvantage, can't it? Because what happens is this. You might go 9 months without being put into a cradle, and then guess what? Over time in the semis of the state tournament, or maybe at a national tournament, someone locks a cradle on you. Now, the up-and-comer kids, they get locked in cradles all the time. They're familiar with the position. So what happens is, now, if you're in Pennsylvania, Southern California, you're in Chicago, you probably have a lot of partners. But a lot of us, the other 99.5% of America, when you get very good, you become isolated, and you actually, your improvement sort of, you stunt your growth a little bit. So a state medalist only room means it's exclusive. Your high school, middle school, or youth, you have to be a state medalist only. You must be a state medalist in your state. Then you're invited to join the camp and train 3 long sessions. There'll be live wrestling at the end of every session for 45 minutes. And then, an hour and 20 minutes or hour and 30 minutes of drill time also. So a lot of drill time, live wrestling, take a break. A lot of drill time, live wrestling, take a break. And so you're going to get about, a couple of hours of live wrestling with other state champions and state medalists, so that you can kind of start to bridge that gap and go from being state good to national good. And that's a necessary step, isn't it? For one, the national tournaments are very expensive, and it's kind of frustrating to go 2-2 all the time, and then you look and say, gosh, 2-point match would have been in the finals. Lost that 1-point match, maybe a rough call on the edge, would have been in the semis, would have been top 4. There's so many close calls. It's completely frustrating. And, you do that at the high school level. This might cost you a college wrestling scholarship, because these college coaches, they should watch the matches of the kids who do not place, but they don't. They generally don't even show up and watch until the quarterfinals, semis, and finals. And they don't watch wrestlebacks very much, right? And then just, okay, let's go watch the medal rounds. And they get their coaching buddies and they sit in the stands and watch the medal rounds. So the kids who don't make it to the medal round, sometimes, I know people throw the scholarship thing around a lot, just as a way to scare you to come to their camps and training. But it is a problem, because I have my kids go to these tournaments and where they're coaching them, and I'm like, we have a college recruiting kind of service for our athletes, and I'm like, hey, she didn't place, he didn't place, but the kid that got 4th, we were winning in overtime. Check this out. Then they came back and lost a heartbreaker in this, in the wrestlebacks to the number 1 seed that got upset second round. And they're like, oh, okay, coach. Wow, thanks for telling us about that. So we kind of have an advantage, because our emails get opened, where just some random wrestling mom or dad probably are not going to get their emails opened by these famous coaches. So, that's why we developed the state medalist only camps, as a way to help bridge that gap and get the better kids, the more established kids, a chance to compete against each other and have that opportunity. And then obviously, once we get these established, some of you, if you have a weekend free, you might say, hey, you get to know each other. You text, you call, you email, and you say, hey, Nick has a competition camp. It's a 2-day overnight camp at his gym. The girls' camp is this week and the boys is that, because we do competition camps once a month, year round. So now you might start to get a hold of your new friends, and you might come to the competition camp and hit the 1-day camps And you know, there could be maybe a twice a month opportunity there for you, but that's what we have planned for the state medalist only mini camps in Central Missouri and potentially here in St. Louis, Missouri. We're working on that as we speak. So if you have interest, just go to purlerwrestling.com, go to the clinics tab, sign up. We'll probably have, I mean, we only have room like for 45. That's not very many. And I'll probably have 18 academy kids that are going to join, so probably half the spots might be taken, which is good for you guys. You get into the camp, you get to train with all of our academy kids, and there's some very amazing academy kids. We had 490 weekly academy kids training with us at last count. So we've got some savage youth and middle school and high school wrestlers. So it's just a good opportunity, I think. It's just something we're trying to put together, and you know, for our Central Missouri location. And you know, we're in Centralia, Missouri, just near you know, 30 minutes north of Columbia. So it's Centralia, Missouri. That's where we're going to kick off these state medalist only camps. Love to have you.